Friends, welcome to my workplace at Ranaghat, West Bengal, India. This is a very hard cataract. All the incisions have been done, and now, as I try to do rhexis, see what happens. The whole lens moves. This indicates there is weak zonule. So I have to be very careful in doing capsulorhexis. I take a utrata forceps and gently go all around and do a large rhexis because this is a hard cataract. So a rhexis of about 5.5 millimeter has been done, and now see hydrodissection. One, this is two. See how many times I'm applying bases. This is three. This is four. Depressing the nucleus. This is 5. Depressing the nucleus. This is 6. This is 7. And then I inject visco. And now I take these two instruments and rotate the nucleus bimanually, because bimanual rotation will cause less stress on the zonule. Now after injecting visco, I go in, remove some superficial cortical matter, and as I try to turn, I find some difficulty, so I come out, inject visco again. And now I introduce the hand base with bevel up. This is a very hard cataract with weak zonule, so it is a double challenge. And now this is what I call submarine job. Yes, the nucleus has been divided into two heminucleus, but not completely. And this is on heminucleus is being chopped. This is also a nice crack. And now I come back to the original track, hold the piece on the right side and divide the nucleus completely into two heminuclei. Now as I try to rotate, I find that the nucleus is resisting to rotate. So at this time I inject visco, rotate it again by two instruments. First I make the pieces, yes, and here it resists to rotate again, so I keep it here. I will be able to crack this in this position. You just hold it like this, keeping the bevel sideways, and make a nice crack. Now as I try to bring it out, there is some resistance, and I find that the bag tends to move a lot. So at this time I decide to put a capsular tension ring. And here is the capsular tension ring, that is CTR. The leading end of the CTR goes in the bag. Now I gently push the CTR and as I come to the trailing end, I hold the trailing end with MacPherson's and I take a Sinskey hook in my left hand. I go inside, use the Sinskey hook to hold the trailing end inside and place it in the bag. The bag is now nicely supported. Now I take two instruments and separate the nuclear pieces manually, and as it is done, I go again with the phaco needle and start emulsifying the nuclear pieces. Though the bag is now nicely supported by the CTR, even then the emulsification is carried out very carefully with gentle pull of the nuclear pieces after holding it and dividing it into smaller fragments, and the portion that it becomes free is emulsified. Phaco power used in this case is 80%. Flow rate is 40 ml per minute. Vacuum is 400 millimeter of mercury. This is furrows with sweep mode from Otley, Switzerland. And now this is the last big nuclear piece. You just tilt it and this piece is free. So I start emulsifying this smaller piece, and always an eye is there on the posterior capsule and the rhexis margin. Now this kind of capsular bag behaves very abnormally, and sudden surge can cause a rent. And when there is CTR in the bag and a rent occurs, it becomes a mess. So here I decide to come out and emulsify this last portion of the last piece of the nucleus using IOL as a scaffold. So here I inject visco and take the intraocular lens. After inflating the bag nicely with visco, I place the selected IOL in the capsular bag. This is Hoya 150 and the lens goes in the capsular bag. The leading haptic has gone in the bag and the trailing haptic is pushed in the bag. Now over this IOL, the last portion of the nucleus is emulsified, and we don't have any fear of causing posterior capsular rent. So this IOL scaffold is a good technique. It gives 100% assurance of not causing posterior capsular rent. And now cortical cleanup was not easy. I had to go behind the IOL in many places, many areas, and remove the cortex. And then visco was nicely cleaned by bimanual irrigation aspiration. After cleaning the visco, air bubble was injected and hydration of corneal stroma was done around the side ports to close the stab incisions. And then this is the final lavage of the anterior chamber. The anterior chamber was nicely formed, and then the case was concluded. I have some post-op pictures. This is after 1 week. Cornea is clear, anterior chamber is quiet, intraocular pressure is normal, unaided vision is 6/12, and the patient is very happy. So thank you very much for your attention. Hope this video will help you in developing your surgical skills. Be a great surgeon and serve your patients with love, respect, empathy, and great surgical competence.